After nearly 3 weeks on the sidelines, Watford returned to Premier League action on Tuesday as they welcome a faltering West Ham side to Vicarage Road, having had 2 festive fixtures cancelled. Watford are without even a point since November, while West Ham have picked up only 5 from our last 7 games. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, of course, and this is your Watford Matchday build-up show. Matt will be joining us very soon, so bear with us. He's just on his way back from somewhere, so don't worry, he will be logging in literally in seconds. But yes, it's Watford, and, you know, I've just mentioned there that we've only had 5 points from the last 7 games, but if you go by anything that social media is doing, you would think it was the end of the world. Now, every single person is entitled to their own opinion, of course, and as am I, and I'm just not on the panicking wavelength. I put things into perspective, and I see where we're at. So, you know, when things are going well, I'm going to celebrate, because why not? We don't get to do that very often. So if I get cocky with West Ham, it's because I've seen what, as a fan, I've been there through the ups and the downs, as many of you have who are watching, and I am going to enjoy when we are playing well and doing well. And it's not nice when we don't play well and don't get points over the line. But I've seen glimpses of hope. And for me, I think that there are opportunities for West Ham to turn things around in comparison to the form that we've had as of late. And I do think we can turn things around. So what I'll do is I'll jump into the chat, see who's in the chat, and then I will get started on the preview. So James Bong, good evening, chaps. Hope you're well, James. Are you keeping safe? Please say you are. Howard Ailes, good to see you. Come on, you irons. Vinny, no, it's not Stell, not tonight. I don't think Stell's keeping that too well, actually. Antonio said players mentally tired, not physically. I've seen some of those comments, but I think the biggest thing that people are really noticing now is the fatigue is setting in. I mean, the league is getting battered, and I'm not trying to say that I've got sympathy towards them, but the amount of games that they are playing with the fixture congestion, with COVID, with injuries, I'm struggling with the rules that the Premier League have put out. They're saying that, you know, in order to have a game cancelled, you have to have, is it 13 outfield players and 1 goalkeeper available? So 14 players in total that are available for team selection, and that makes it a game to continue. But I don't know if that's, I think it's just desperation to keep the fixtures ongoing. And I just wonder, you know, depending on what happens in the world right now, I just wonder what would go on if we actually just kind of took a break for 2 or 3 weeks and got everyone back to fitness levels, etc. But we'll see. Mandy G, hope Stell's feeling better. I'm 5 days into COVID. Well, Mandy, I hope you are safe and well, and please let us know how you're feeling, please, and I hope you are okay. Mandy G, light symptoms, or are you feeling really depleted? You're all talking to each other. Ludders, you're in the house. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Scott Vent, evening chaps. Benrahma is available for another 2 games yet. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. He is. Spencer Burrows, evening all. Good to see you, Spencer. Hope you're well. Mighty Badger, we played a team who had 10 days off yesterday and a team who had 3 weeks off tomorrow. Yikes. Yeah, but then I don't know if 3 weeks off can also play not so well into their hands, and we'll talk about Watford in a minute, but you know, it's not so rosy over at Watford, and having the time off doesn't mean that, you know, things are going to be okay. Mandy G, light symptoms, but still feel weak and tired. Well, I do hope you are okay. Mark Alexander, evening all. Good to see you, mate. Roy Debo, positives from Spurs game. Southampton, rubbish Moyes. Positives from the Spurs game and the Southampton game, rubbish Moyes. I don't see it, mate. It's not for me. I mean, I'm not going to jump on that Moyes out bandwagon. Happy Amaret, hope you're well. Good to see you, Ludders. It's not fair, Mighty Badger. Kimbo, evening all. Good to see you. Paul Chambers, hello. Thank you. Again, you're all talking to each other, which is nice. Gary Page, evening. Thought I saw Dele Alli at the training ground today. Don't know his number plate. Interesting, but really, really highly doubt that Tottenham are going to want to do much business with West Ham. Hi, Happy Amaret. I fancy a win tomorrow, as I do, 100%. And here he comes. Matt, how you doing, mate? You okay?
You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm just going through some comments, and I'll come on to you in a second, mate, okay? Pete Chapman's in the house. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Let me just put a different background on there. Thank you very much, Frankie boy. Hope you're okay. Still annoyed about yesterday. Can't see tomorrow any better. Happy Amaret. Just hope you are, like I said, Mandy G, hope you are better. But Matt, you know, Watford, mate, how are you feeling about it on the back of the kind of several games that West Ham have had? Are you panicking?
Not panicking, but I'm not exactly buoyant and confident, and because it's very much the same situation that we had when we played Tottenham in the Cup.
Yeah.
They haven't played for 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
One training session, and then we're just expected to. So it could go on in 2 ways. They could be disjointed, unorganised, and a bit unfit, or they're going to be like Duracell bunny sprinting around non-stop for the entire 90 minutes. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, we're just crawling through to January. Like,
yeah. I mean, I said when we came on, you know, someone said in the chat, them having 3 weeks off, Southampton having several time off, you know, Tottenham having some time off. It doesn't always mean it will work wonders. I mean, we'll talk. Well, actually, let's just get straight into it. Actually, let's go and talk Watford. Now, the situation is, of course, the last time out Watford played was back in, let me just get this right.
10th of December?
Yeah, the 10th of December. So that's been 17 days. They got beat by Brentford 2-1. Their team was decimated by COVID. Now, they have a lot of players coming back. However, they have still got some new positive tests come in from the Watford camp. Now, they haven't named names, which clubs aren't doing, which is what's making this team selection situation extremely difficult. And I think today was the record amount of COVID cases that got announced for the last week, 110 or something like that. So we don't know what's going to happen with the West Ham squad. We don't know what's going to happen with the Watford squad. But 3 weeks not playing games can work both ways for a team like Watford under Ranieri. I mean, what do you think? I mean, considering how West Ham have been playing as of late.
Well, when we played Tottenham in the Cup, it really went like their way.
Yeah.
But they've had, I think, one game back. I can't remember who they played, and might have been Leicester, or Liverpool. They had the Liverpool game. They looked really energetic and lively.
Yeah.
So they've had a period of training and a game before they got to our game. Whereas Ranieri said they've had one training session in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but they could go out there and run their socks off and just outrun us off the pitch because they're so fresh and ready to go, or they're going to be disorganised because they've only trained together once in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a big player for them, a big player that was missing in the last game is this man himself, Emmanuel Dennis. He's got himself 7 goals this season with 5 assists in the Premier League. Now, we don't know if he's going to be back in time for the game. We just don't know what the situation is. Obviously, he is firing on all cylinders. Matt, what do you know of this guy?
I think they got him out of Belgium. If I'm right. I didn't know much about him before they bought him, but he's been flying this season. Much in a way that Sarr was when they were in the Premier League 2 years ago. He's pacey, he's dynamic, he's quick. Looks like he's got a decent shot on him.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be another one that causes problems. You know, there was lots of links at the start of last season with Sarr maybe going somewhere like Liverpool. We got through the Championship, managed to keep hold of him. And it looks like they found like a like-for-like replacement in him.
Yeah.
We don't like pace, so.
And that's the big problem, is because he looks like he carries quite a bit of pace in him. Now, again, this comes to the situation where we don't know who is going to play, who's available to play, because Watford haven't given any names to who's basically back or not under the circumstances. But then you can look a little bit further past Dennis, and we can look at another player that West Ham were linked to ourselves, Matt, and that is Josh King. We were linked to him all of last year, I think it was. And he's came in this season and he's banged in 5 goals for Watford. Albeit, I think he got, was it 4 in one of the games? Was it against Everton? I think he got
Everton. Yeah,
the club he obviously formerly played for. But we all know that Moyes was looking at him because he had done does similar things to what he wants from a striker, someone that works the flank, someone that works out wide, and someone that works hard but also can be a man up the top. But do you worry with a player like him when he's in the ranks as well?
He's a form player. He's one of them guys that will go on a run and score for 5-6 games in a row. Then he might not score for 10 games.
Yeah.
But there's no doubting that when he's on form, he's a very, very good centre forward.
Yeah.
If you play him the right way, which Watford seems to have found a system to play him in. You know, he didn't get much playing time at Everton, and it just didn't work out at all for him.
Yeah.
I think he spent most of his time on the bench, but it's, as you know, it's just a player. Players we try to sign, players we missed out on, always at some point come up back and bite us.
Yeah.
You know, we should have got him.
But you know, there is a comment there. I'm actually trying to find it. Oh God, where is it? God, it's so annoying when you find something and someone said we're waiting for the team to gel. We're kind of due the team to gel. It's been such a long time since we've saw those kind of really fantastic performances, and you can't help but feel like we know what we're capable of doing. We'll come on to West Ham in a minute, but I mean, there's a couple of other players that are keen of interest to West Ham fans. Of course, Ngakia returns for his first appearance. I think it's his first appearance against West Ham since leaving West Ham.
If he plays, yeah.
If he's available, and he was playing the last time out, December the 10th, if he's available. And it's not just him. You've got another player in the Watford ranks, which is Ashley Fletcher, who of course we signed all that while ago and then sold. But 2 players that could potentially find themselves starting against West Ham and have got a point to prove. Sometimes those players are dangerous, aren't they?
Like I said, it's former players and players we tried to sign and miss out on.
Yeah.
Normally, at some point in their career, come back to bite us. We have them players, so you don't want them to have bad careers, but you kind of think, oh, just have a bad game against us.
Yeah.
And they carry on next week and get going again.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict though because of the whole COVID situation. You don't know
really
what anyone's. No one's in form. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
They've got no sort of form, so it could be, and one training session, they could be fresh as a daisy, lightning quick play, or they could be really staggered and destroyed because they haven't been on the pitch playing together.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, Watford's stats this season, they've played 16 games, they've won 4, they've lost 11, they've scored 21, and they've conceded 31, compared to West Ham's won 8, lost 6, scored 30, conceded 24. But we have played 18 games, which is 2 more than what Watford have done. Let's take a look and see what happened the last time out the 2 clubs met each other. Now, that's a long time ago, and that was during a time where West Ham were firing on all cylinders. Not just that, it was Tommy Soucek was, of course, firing on all cylinders. Watford have lost 4 of the last 5 Premier League games against West Ham, winning 1 more than they had done in the first 9 against us in the competition. West Ham have won our last 3 Premier League games against Watford, netting 10 goals in the process. Watford won their last league game in both 2019 and 20. Last doing so in the 3 consecutive calendar years before years between 2010 and 2012. That's the last game of the year to play. West Ham have won our final league game in the year in just one of the last 12 calendar years. West Ham have already lost against Brentford this season, having lost just one of our 12 Premier League games against promoted sides in the last 2 campaigns combined. West Ham have lost 3 of our last 4 Premier League away games, drawing 1, as many as we had in the previous 17 on the road. So away form has not been there. But I think we've done enough on Watford. So let's start going on to the West Ham world, mate. Now, of course, we know Declan Rice picked up a yellow card. Now, he has got 149 Premier League games for West Ham. One more makes him the 17th different player to reach 150 for the club. But what a massive miss he is going to be, isn't he, Matt?
Oh. When was the last time he missed the game? Like, I think it was. I read that run last season.
Was it not like the season? Was it last? Oh yeah, when he got the injury. When he picked up the injury.
I think last time he actually was banned for a game.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. It's frustrating as well because if he'd have got through the game yesterday, it reset. Like it extended another 5 games. You had the 10 booking threshold. I know we'll probably get on to teams at the moment in a bit, but
yeah.
I know how I'd replace him, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to be a massive miss either way.
Yeah,
like he just does so much stuff on his own. You look around and sometimes you think no one's driving forward. He picks up the ball, makes a big run, covers the defence.
Put your comments in.
I don't want to say if there's any game to be missing, it was that one, but
yeah. If you are watching, put the comments in and let us know your thoughts on the Declan Rice and how much that would impact us and what we would do or should do tomorrow when the game does take place, considering we're not going to be missing Declan Rice. I mean, before we kind of move on to team selection and all that sort of stuff, we didn't do a review of the Southampton game. Now, I'm going to bring it up because VAR is being the most controversial. I think it's come to the forefront of being so controversial. It's got to the point where I don't know what to do with it. But this image is a really kind of strong image of the situation with VAR. They were checking for a possible penalty foul. Look at Dawson. Look at the 2 players on the screen. Look at that. Look at where they are. Look at their balance. How can anyone in their right mind give that as a penalty? I've not heard a single person say that that's a penalty. Not a single person. Punditry.
After I didn't watch it on TV.
Yeah.
But I have heard that the ref didn't even see this part of the replay.
Right. So what happens is when you do watch the game and you see the ref going over, I would say the first 3 incidences that he sees, he doesn't see that first part. I'm actually telling people on the screen, they're not showing him the full thing. They're not showing him the full thing. Then they show the tackle being made from outside the box, but not from when they come together as the collision, just as the collision is there. Now, I don't know what vision he actually sees in terms of, does he see where it's the collision comes from outside the box? But VAR has taken people, I heard Stell say yesterday, or a message saying you can't blame VAR. You can't blame VAR. Well, hold on a second. You kind of can. You kind of can, because that's a pivotal moment in the game. Huge moment. West Ham have got momentum. we've equalised against Southampton, and we were playing better, and an incident like that makes us drop our heads again. Pivotal moment. So you kind of can blame VAR. You can turn around and say players didn't perform up to their standards from the first half. But when you're talking about an incident so large and so as big as that, and like the Soufal incident as well, with the sending off and the penalty, like they're very big decisions that they're making wrong. But it's not just West Ham; it's throughout the world right now. It's ridiculous, Matt, isn't it?
It's almost just worth saying to Premier League, we're not paying for it. Don't bother using it. Like,
yeah,
back before we had VAR, it was you'd say that over a season normally, like the decisions would balance out. One week you might get a bad one, the next week it might go for you. You think back to like the last month, you can go Brighton, we would have had the goal.
Yeah.
Burnley, we wouldn't have had the penalty, but then they wouldn't have had the penalty yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's not the way to do it. However, if the fact that on just the balance of play, referees are getting a percentage-wise better than the VAR are, like I said I can only act on what I saw, and if the referee hasn't been given the full evidence, he can only act on what he sees.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's the referee's fault because the referee in the instance didn't give it at all.
No.
But they should have played back like the entire sequence.
Yeah.
He can only act on what he's given.
I'm going to bring this comment up there. All the pundits on Match of the Day said it was a penalty. Well, I don't tend to watch Match of the Day because every time I do watch Match of the Day, I've got to spend an hour before a game comes on, no matter how many goals West Ham score. And most of the time it's Gary Lineker. But to be fair, I'm absolutely baffled because there literally must be the only punditry that I've saw or anyone.
Yeah, I've seen lots of former players on social media saying it's not a penalty.
And referees talking as well, saying how can they give that as a penalty? There's no excuse really for a penalty, but it's ridiculous, and it is starting to get to the point which is completely ruining the game. Happy I'm right here saying the ref took it as two challenges, the first being the elbow that he let go, but the situation is with the ref, he's made the mistake by creating it as two challenges because the situation is they've both lost their footing and both were out of control, so therefore you can't if you're going to pull it back to anything, it has to go back to the first initial foul, and that should be the free kick. It's an absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, we do move on. Right, so if you are watching, we are going to go through team selection as best as we can. Right, I'm going to hold on a minute. Let me just quickly for this one. Anton, you can't blame VAR for deciding on what to show the ref. It's down to those numpty refs watching the screens. I agree with you 100%.
Well, no, I'm not saying, but I'm saying is you've got to show the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Like for me,
but he did. The point I'm trying to make is he did to a certain extent see the whole thing. So that's the point I'm trying to make is that he did see the thing, but he didn't see it like the way the replay was done. When the referee got over there, they were constantly rewinding and slowing down and fast forwarding the inside the box incident. Inside the box. That's what they kept replaying and rewinding. And then they would eventually go back to the initial collision, not the running of together, but just the collision. So he never saw the kind of whole scope. And that's where the problem lies. But I don't want to make this all about VAR because this is the Watford preview. But I'm just trying to make something of the situation because for me, that's a pivotal moment in the game. Burnley is a pivotal moment in the game. Like huge decisions that are getting made that could give West Ham a point or three.
Which I mean, it would surprise me if in like 3 weeks' time, Moyes comes out and goes, "Oh, the PGML have been in contact saying sorry, it should have been a penalty."
Yeah,
it doesn't help us right now. Like we're about 7 points behind where we should be.
Yeah,
when they've come out and apologise, well, that doesn't help, does it? You've got VAR there.
Yeah.
What's the point of having the VAR there?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that gets to me is, I don't doubt for a second that West Ham haven't been playing well. Don't doubt that for a second. But when a team aren't playing well and still getting results over the line, that's what you kind of want when you hit a slump, but you still get results. But for me, if you don't, it's not even the luck of the draw. It's getting the non-luck. Anyway, let's move on from VAR because we could be sitting here all night talking about it. Start talking to us about the team you would like to see start tomorrow. Myself and Matt will start to build the team. Right, I'm just trying to get this screen shared. Hopefully that is it. So many, factors can take place in here right now, Matt. We could be in a situation where we really don't know who is available and who isn't. Now, David Moyes hasn't done a press conference in preparation for this game. He's done a post-match conference where he just talks about the game that's just taken place. Of course, we've got fixture after fixture coming up. So, again, West Ham haven't named any particular players that haven't made the game. But if we take a look at, before we do this, the West Ham starting lineup against Southampton, we had Fabianski in goal. We had Sufal right back, Dawson, Diop, Masuaku, Souček, Rice, Vlasic, Fornals, Benrahma, and Bowen. If you are in the chat, what do you think? Do you think you'll see any changes? Of course, we're going to see an enforced change because of Declan Rice's situation. Now, I'm going to bring a player up to you before we even start to choose this team, Matt, and that is Issa Diop. Is he getting fair criticism or not?
He's very... We know this as well. We talked about it before. He jumps into tackles. Like, he's the one that will dive in. But like I said exactly the same for the Tottenham game. For the... Was it the second goal?
Yeah.
Like, he dived into a ball that he couldn't win. And once he didn't get the ball, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he is. Because he's playing a bit like what Bonner and Zuma do. But they seem to have the maybe age and experience of knowing when to commit and when not to. Like, it seems like Diop hasn't quite worked out yet when he needs to go and when he doesn't. He's rightly getting some stick because he's had a couple of, I wouldn't even say poor performances, but he's made a couple of critical mistakes that have cost us goals.
Yeah.
However, it's kind of irrelevant. Like, at the moment, it's not going to matter.
Yeah,
because he's going to play regardless.
Yeah.
Before everyone was playing well and everyone had a chance to play, but with two defenders out.
But so was Diop. Diop was playing well and performing well.
That's what I mean. They were both playing well.
Yeah, and then
when there was the four players there, and they had to play well.
Yeah,
but now it's almost like it doesn't matter if they play well because they're going to get picked anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, we do have a situation where you can form an opinion based upon what social media provides to you, and form an opinion of what the fans are saying. So I'm not saying it's generalized. It's not, because I think social media can be a minority, especially for West Ham. But when you see an opinion start to build, you can start to see people digging out players like Diop. But I think Diop, I've always said to you, Matt, that my concern about players like Diop is that they remind me so similar to what Ogbonna is. Not slagging off Ogbonna and Diop, but the stepping out defender. They constantly step out, so they need that calm, collected defender who can clear up any of the mistakes that get past them. And Diop is still young and still learning the trade. That I think Dawson has been fantastic, and actually his blocks, his defending has been really good. But that's a lot of work to ask someone of Dawson's ability to do, because he's not been doing it at that level that maybe the Zuma has been doing it for week in and week out, playing European football week in and week out.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I think I've still got the potential to get there, but he doesn't have the experience.
Yeah.
Like I said, these ones where he's diving in, it's like you need to pick and choose. Don't just commit in every time.
Yeah.
And even then, if we go back to the game yesterday, he dives in for the header. He then doesn't win the header.
Yeah.
But even then, the experience, and I guarantee if that was Zuma, once I think was it Broha got past him? The guy that went down got taken out for penalty. When he got past Diop, had that been Zuma would have just pulled him down.
Yeah.
Zuma would have just taken the booking.
Yeah.
And Diop Diop's on the halfway line. There's about 3 players behind him. He can't get sent off. The most he can do is just yank him down and take the booking.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done. But again, it's just experience.
Another player we want to discuss, and has been a big miss for West Ham, and I did not realise the serious extent of his injury when he picked it up, is Aaron Creswell. Now, the thing is, and the worrying thing is, we have no kind of recollection of when he's coming back. There's not a single, no one has said or stated when he's coming back. Now, it would be an absolute shock if he was available for tomorrow, but we're totally in the understanding that he is not, and he's not going to be there. But it is worrying when you hear that he is, chipped a bone off his tailbone.
It's chipped tailbone, apparently.
Yeah.
How much we miss it's right, it's what everyone's saying. You cannot put a return on that. You can't put a timescale on it.
No.
It's a bone. The bone heals when it heals. Right? There's nothing you can do. You can't go in an oxygen tank. You can't get out on the pitch and push your pain through the pain to get the muscle re thingy. Like it's something so innocuous as he just clipped his back on the base of the post, making a clearance off the line.
Yeah.
You want to stick back to it now, and you think you should have let the ball go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, retrospect is a great thing, but you think for the amount of games he's missed, you better. In fact, we lost the game anyway. You might be better off letting the ball go in.
God, yeah, 100%. 100%, mate. But obviously, in his absence, we've had Masuaku covering in there. I mean, what camp are you in? I mean, some people love his attacking ability. People hate his defensive ability. I mean, where are you at with Arthur?
You know what? Again, I haven't seen it on TV, so you might tell me a completely different story. But I didn't think he had a bad defensive game yesterday. I thought he'd done what he had to do. However, as a whole, the general consensus is that his defending isn't very good. He's very good going forward.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. Like, I'm sorry. Again, it might be my perspective sitting in a stand and not watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Especially in the last 20 minutes. The amount of times we worked that ball out to the left-hand side for after to put a ball in, and he just squared up the defender and passed it backwards to Rice again. He's like, no, you're the left footer on that wing. You need to be just whipping that ball in the box. He didn't do it. He didn't take people on. He tried to take people on once. He done 1-2 once, and he kicked it straight out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah.
So, yes, defensively yesterday, he was okay, done his job. But offensively, which is what he's supposed to be good at, he was awful. So it's almost like he was too scared to make a mistake, so he didn't commit to the attacking and just focus on the defending.
Do you think the two, Diop and Masuaku, are a problem playing side by side? As Mark
Absolutely.
Clearly.
Absolutely. They cannot play together.
Yeah.
Like, they cannot. As we said, Diop is, if you've got Dawson and Diop together, Diop is the one that will jump in to make the tackle, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's fine if the left back behind you sitting and will cover.
Yeah.
But Masuaku's like, his first thing isn't to think or follow the runner. He'll see the runner go and then he'll follow him.
Yeah.
So if Diop commits to a tackle and doesn't get there and the ball goes behind him, well, winger can be it because Masuaku's got a couple of seconds to react and go, oh, ball's gone past me, I need to go.
Yeah.
That's why he worked so well as a left wing back with Creswell in behind him. Because Creswell was like, well, I'll just sit. I'll tuck over if you go forward. I'll sit and tuck in.
Yeah.
You just go out and mark that one man out on the wing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I mean, the chat is digging out Masuaku and Diop. Rich Mushroom says, Chris, you have a chip bone in his back. God knows how a massive miss, and it is, and it's worrying because we don't have a clue when he is due to come back. And the fact of the matter is, they're saying that they're also saying that as well. Mark Alexander saying Masuaku can't defend, can't cross, gives the ball away, always caught out of position. Should have been sold 2 seasons ago. But anyway, let's get on to the starting 11. Get your opinions in, and we'll go through the team as we chat to you in the chat. Right, goalkeeper. I mean, Fabianski, was he at fault for any of the goals? I mean, I'm hearing people now saying maybe it's time with the amount of games that are getting played.
That's what I was about to say. With the amount of games,
could we see rotation? Yeah, but is that what Moyes is that what Moyes is going to do? I'm going to put it to the chat. Get your comments in. Is it going to be right? Here's the question for you: Fabianski to start. Is that your opinion, or is that what Moyes will do? Is that what Moyes will do? You let me know in the chat, and we'll go through that as well. But you're thinking that Moyes might do it by giving Fabianski a rest. Gary Page is saying,
I just think twice in 3 days is a big ask.
Yep. Yep.
For someone of his age, you know, and if you believe rumours today, they're saying that Aviola needs more playing time. And me and you both said at the start of the season, we thought as the season would go on, Aviola would be worked into the number 1 at some point.
Yeah. This could be.
I say 2 games.
Yeah. This could be.
I would say play him, but Moyes, I've no idea.
I mean, I think I agree with you, but I don't think he would. I don't think he will.
That's sort of where I'm sitting.
Paul Chambers is saying would like to see Areola. We know Happy Amaret. We know you love a little bit Areola, but he will play Fabs. I do agree with you. Vinay is saying Areola has to start. Fabs is a good keeper, but he looks like some bloke from a pub put in goal. His distributor is not very good, and that mobile still an 8 out of 10. Goalkeeper, Maddie G saying Moyes will start Fabi, but time for Areola to be number one. Fab is an athlete, and he shouldn't need rest.
Well, he is, but he's also nearly 37.
Yeah, absolutely. Fab will start, but Areola needs to get that number one pick after the transfer window. Stell's in the house. Fabianski is rooted to his goal line. Time for Areola to start a Premier League game. Richard Stevens saying, but I do agree it's time for Areola. Yeah, I do agree with you. I do think I'd like to see Areola for the game tomorrow, but I don't think Moyes will do it, mate, because I think there are going to be changes tomorrow, but I don't think Areola is going to be the one. But the other situation is we don't know. Areola may start because Fabianski can't start because he's got COVID. We don't know the situation, but I don't think he will start, mate.
I can see there being like 4 or 5 changes tomorrow. And we know that it won't be either of the centre-backs, which is why I think he might chuck Areola in.
Right, so you do think it will be Areola?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So
the centre-backs are there. They've played together a few games and they're not going to change them because they can't, can they? So...
Well, I'm keeping Fabianski in the image before I get rid of him yet. So let's put in the centre-back pairing. I mean, I don't think we've got any doubt, no matter, that Dawson and Diop will be the centre-back pairing for the game against Watford tomorrow. Let's move into the left-back position. Now, do you think he's going to keep the faith in Masuaka? And do you think he's going to keep the formation of 4 at the back? Put it in the chat. Who do you want to start? Who will start in that position? I mean... Harson Johnson?
I would play Johnson.
I would as well. Do you think he will?
I just don't understand. Like we said before that there's only so many times you can play and have poor performances and make mistakes before.
Yeah.
I must be honest, I was surprised he didn't play yesterday.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And if Emmanuel Dennis is going to play, he's going to play on that right-hand side. So you need a defensive winger. So for me, you'd have to play Johnson.
Yep, I completely agree with you. And then on the right back position, are we going to go with Vladimir? Yep. Can you see him? Because I can't. Where is he? Where's Sofal? Oh, I need to drop down here and find him. Oh, I've not even. Where are you? There you are. Let's copy you there and bring you up into the starting lineup. There you are. So far, what do you all think? I mean, people are saying that they would like to see the likes of Ashby potentially start, but I don't see him throwing in the youngsters yet because I don't think he kind of needs to, because I think these are capable of doing a job. Both these players can shoot forward, as we know, Matt, and they're definitely capable of doing that. But you happy with that back 4? Well, that back 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Dabs is saying 3-5-2. You can see West Ham switching up. Richard Stevens says definitely Johnson. Paul Chambers saying Johnson left back. Helen Ludders saying Johnson for me, but Moyes will probably play Massa. Very harsh on Fabi. Mandy G. Fabi is a good keeper. Just think they should mix it up a bit. Johnson was in quality form before being out. Now he's back. He must start in front of Mad Masuaku. Sufal, although Ashby must be close. Ray saying if Noble plays, it will be very, very slow. Vladimir over Ashby from Warren Higgins. Right, let's go into the central midfield. Now, Declan Rice doesn't make the game tomorrow, so let's just put in Tommy Soucek because that's a given. Let me get rid of the main man, the man who carries the team forward, who's been giving us fantastic performances as of late because he's missing and suspended, which is the first time and odd to do this, Matt. But bye-bye, Declan Rice. Who partners him, mate? Who partners him?
I know this is what I've said at the start. There's someone who wants to replace him. But he won't do it. I know who's going to replace him. It should be Krau. Because if Krau doesn't replace him, then what's the point in getting him in at all?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
However, what I would say is that if Krau goes into that position, Who takes the captain's armband?
Interesting.
Because normally, obviously, I know it's normally Rice, then it's Creswell, then it's Noble, Zeno Bonner do it. Like, if Crowell plays in that position alongside Souček, what is Dawson captain for the game?
I wouldn't be surprised. But listen, what I want to say to you is, I mean, you're saying about putting Krall there, but what's the, or Noble there, but what's to say that he doesn't drop Lanzini back into that position? Because let's be honest,
I've got him in my team, just not there.
But that's an option because he can play in that role. He can drop deeper and play in that role. But does that leave us,
I think
would that leave us too open?
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. I think we've shipped too many goals recently. Moyes will be fuming about it.
Right.
So I don't think Moyes will want to go too open, in which probably is a must-win game.
Yeah.
So I can't see it being Lanzini in that position.
Yeah. I think this is a valid point. I think this is a valid point from Happy Amaret. Souček isn't much of a cop without Rice. He needs Lanzini, and I kind of think I agree with you there, Happy. To be honest, I don't know if Krall and Souček is going to be what we need, what we need to be honest. Mark Alexander Lanzini has been the choice last time Rice was out. Still saying we know he's going to start Noble against Souček. There's so many there's things to consider here. I mean, Noble loves a London derby. He's been managed in his time out of the team, and I wonder if he's going to play him. I mean, I'm going to keep these players in and around. Do you think it's going to be Krall?
No, I want it to be Krall.
Who do you think it's going to be?
It'll be Noble.
Right. So Noble. I'm keeping these players in and around the squad because I think we can talk about some changes that can be made. Let me get Masuaku, and Creswell, of course, is out, and Ashby won't make the team, and you won't make the team. Let me just get rid of some of these guys, so I can see where we are at. Right. Okay. I'm keeping. You're saying Noble, but I've kept some players.
Yes.
Yeah, I've kept some players in there just to see what we can potentially look at moving forward. Okay, so let's put Noble in there. Right, left and right hand side. Now let's go into Vlasic. What did you think of Vlasic's performance against Southampton?
Again, look, you can always view things differently sitting in the crowd than you do sitting there watching it on TV.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I was genuinely baffled how he got subbed off at half time and Ben Rama stayed on.
Yeah.
I know Ben Rama went to score a goal, but the way they were playing in the first half, I didn't understand how Vlasic got subbed off and Ben Rama stayed on.
Yeah.
But
so for
I thought he played a very good game in the first half. I thought he was the only one that was going to do anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he did. He kind of stepped up to the plate, to be honest, and I was quite surprised. Yeah. Although the funny thing is, I don't know if I was surprised at what Moyes done, because I think Moyes made the right decision to shake it up, and I don't think taking Vlasic off is what cost West Ham the game.
No.
That's the funny thing. That's the that's not a decision I look at Moyes and go, what the hell are you doing?
I did at the time, but
at the end of the day, I'm thinking, Vlasic gave a good performance, so is he deserved of another start? Get your comments in and let me know.
Yes, on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Paul Chambers is saying definitely a start. Vlasic was decent. Mark Alexander saying Fornals left, Vlasic centre, Antonio right, Bowen up front. I mean, that's something different, isn't it? There you go. Mark Happy is saying that sounds good. So you're saying he starts at where? Out on the left?
On the left, yeah.
Okay. On the right? Does that mean Jared Bowen sits in the right?
Bowen.
Yeah. No brainer, picks himself. Let's go for Antonio up top. Is he up top?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That leaves one position only.
For me, based on the game yesterday, Lanzini.
There you go. There is Matt's starting 11. What do you all think of that? I mean, explain it to me, mate. Why would you see him going for that?
I think the back four sort of picks itself I said the only position for me I'd be unsure about in that team, probably two position would be Vlasic and the keeper.
Uh-huh.
I think the back four, at least three of the back four, pick themselves. I would like to see Alagola in. I think it's time to switch things up, but that's what Moyes. Left back, I understood why he played Masuaku against Southampton because he probably thought we're going to see more of the possession, more of the ball, like we did at Burnley. So we're going to do more of the attacking. So have the attacking fullback on.
Yeah.
It's just Masuaku in the last 20 minutes had like no final ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
But although you should still expect the same tomorrow, and even though Watford are down there and struggling, they are decent on the counter attack.
Scott Venn is saying you can't drop Saeed after he scored.
What?
I think you can, and I don't think it would be dropped. I think
you know what? And I said this. The problem is, if you take that goal, here's the thing: he's not centre forward; he's a winger, right? And he floated between the wing and number 10 position.
Yeah.
Outside of scoring what was essentially a tap-in, thanks to Bowen, he offered nothing. Like, I thought Vlasic done more in 45 minutes than he did in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Lanzini did more in 45 minutes than he did. I don't think, if you're centre forward and they do nothing and score, you're like, well, his job's to score.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben Rama's job is to create goals, score goals, and work in midfield. And he keeps giving the ball away at the moment. Like, he's got this problem where he can't make the ball stick.
Yeah.
He's like, I think he was partially responsible for the third goal. I think we had a corner, he got cleared to the edge of the box. And instead of just like knocking it past one player and shooting, he kept trying to chip it up over players. He like chipped over two players and then went again, still doing something, done for a third one.
Yeah.
The guy nicked it off him, sprinted 45 yards down the pitch, and Souček pulled him down. They got the free kick and scored.
But one thing
you can't be doing that in a Premier League game.
No, I agree with you.
And he done it more than once in the same game.
Paul makes.
I think Bowen got a booking for the same thing.
Paul makes a point here. Ben Rama wasn't great, but got a long needed goal. He is a bit of a confidence player. Is that the sort of thing that could give him a confidence boost?
Didn't look like it. It's not like he played any better after he scored.
I do agree with this sentiment, though. I do agree with this sentiment. Guy Page Lanzini makes an impact from the bench.
He does, and that may weigh into it.
Can I make a suggestion? Tell me if it's ballsy. Tell me if it's what David Moyes is capable of doing or not. Would you see Lanzini drop in beside Souček and Benny come into the middle?
I don't. You know what?
Is that ballsy?
I wouldn't say it would surprise me. However, I'd also say I think we've seen. I don't think Moyes will because we conceded so many goals.
Yeah. But let's. But I mean, let's.
I think that would be far too open.
But again,
you know what? Maybe take Lanzini out for Noble.
We need.
And you can see that team start.
Yeah.
And then at half time, if we've seen 90%, like 80% possession of the ball, and we're struggling to break them down,
yeah,
then you can see Lanzini come in that position at half time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I am kind of open to this. This is where I'm at. It's ballsy. It's ballsy. I mean, you've got options here. The situation is, I'm pretty confident Vlasic will play. I'm obviously massively confident that Bowen and Antonio will play. I think the decision gets made, and the players that are up for debate here are Mark Noble and Alex Kroll. I mean, Fabianski. Sorry. So that's your kind of 14 players out of that 14. 11 will be chosen. And it's a shame. I don't think Fornals is going to get a start tomorrow, but I mean, maybe he is. But there's a lot of players there to choose from. It's just what the right setup is against Watford, a Claudio Ranieri side that haven't played football for 17, going on 18 days tomorrow. Is he going to be ballsy enough to change his goalkeeper? Is he going to be ballsy enough to have an attacking outlet like having Lanzini sitting a bit deeper? Will Masuaku not start? Will he start? I mean, if he starts, is that West Ham setting up all wrong from the off?
Masuaku, I don't want to see. Krau, I would happily play Krau. It's just, I think it's the leadership thing.
Yeah.
Who takes leadership of that team? If Krau comes in. Who takes the armband?
Yeah.
Because normally, it'd be Creswell or a Bonner. They're both out as well. So,
Yeah.
Craigie Dawson, like, does Fabianski start and take the armband?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of keepers being captains, but
Scott Venn is saying, sorry, Matty, but Benrahma had a higher passing percentage than Vlasic yesterday. I don't doubt that he did. However, Scott, I have been heavily disappointed in Benrahma's performances as of late. Apart from the goal, great to see him on goal. I think he's a confidence player. I think you could bounce on from that. But there's no ifs or buts about it. The game changer coming off the bench for me against Southampton was Lanzini. Lanzini
absolutely.
was phenomenal. He's opened up space, his passing ability, his creativity, everything he did was and his final pass was, sometimes they were like the kind of penetrating passes, where I think a lot of Benrahma's passes were wasteful, and his final third, it definitely was wasteful as well. Mandy G saying Bowen is way better cutting in from the right. I completely agree. Happy Amaret, Lanzini has midfield qualities. Benny's goal was class. It was a good goal, absolutely. Alex Chapman saying Benrahma is no better than the F2 freestyles on YouTube. Vinay saying Moyes is obsessed with oldies, Noble and Fab. Come on. I would play Crawl, let Souček get forward more. Warren is saying, did Lanzini not have a fine game against Man United last season in the centre? He did. This is why. So I'll bring up the two teams that there could be options for. Again, they could be dramatically different. But Matt's going for this lineup. Matt thinks that Mark Noble will come in and partner Souček in the middle.
I'll say I don't want Noble in. I want Crowell, but I think Moyes will put Noble in.
Yep. And I've gone with a ballsy decision. I've gone with an absolute big ballsy, a reaction team. Lanzini sitting in there in the centre, Benrahma. Because I actually said during the game the other day, Benrahma likes to play around Lanzini. Lanzini likes to play around Benrahma. So Benrahma's movement yesterday was great, but his touch and his final third passing for me wasn't great. I thought Vlasic had a good first half, and I think he definitely deserves to start again. What do you think in the comments? I mean, there's so much debate going on. The whole team is worse with Masuaku on the pitch from Paul Evans. Stel's not doing a weekly tonight. Dalek, he is not doing a weekly tonight. Happy Amaret, we have +4 goal difference on Manure. Tomorrow's win is crucial. It is. Paul Chambers is saying, think Diop is worse when he has Masuaku to his left. Masuaku is the weakest link. Ashley Kemp is saying play Crawl before Arthur. DMH is saying drop Masuaku. Masuaku must be dropped from Joan. Paul Evans is saying play some youngsters. Don't want to see Masuaku or Yarmo again. It's time for guts from Ray Debo. What a shame United got that point. Absolutely. Victor Fenn is saying play 5-3-2. That could be another option as well. What do you think?
Players to do it. I haven't got the players to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you play Johnson in the back three, but even then it didn't work last time because that still puts Masuaku and Diop next to each other.
Yeah, 100%. Matthew Stevens says, Mass always looking like he's trying for a player with 2 left feet. It's a shame, but it's just not working with him anymore. Time to bench him and put someone who has a point to...
You know what? I'd even rather see Longello. I think in the European game, he looks a lot better defensively than Masuaku does.
You would and I would, but he wouldn't. He won't. What do you think of the Antonio inclusion? Not starting the game, but coming on and being the impact? I mean, did he have, apart from the goal, how did you think his performance was in the second half against Southampton?
He looks all right. He looks a bit more lively. I think he still has this problem where he doesn't, and I don't want to say this because we don't want to encourage it, but Antonio's too honest. Again, like I said in the crowd, could be different, but it looked like there was a few times in the second half when he was getting the ball played into him and he was holding the defender off and he was getting fouled, but because he didn't want to go down, he's trying to stay on his feet to do something, and then he gets tackled on his ball, and the ref's like, well, that's your advantage, you got him.
Yeah. And
it's like he's being penalised for being honest. They say they don't want players diving, but when you see that, you're like, well, what's the point in staying on your feet? You might as well just go down.
Yeah.
Like their players were doing. But I thought we'd done okay, to be honest. I thought it looked like the week off had done him a bit good. He looked a bit more lively. He looked like he was trying to get back to his old self, like Moy said a couple of weeks back. But there wasn't really many. I think he was really like close to a couple of crosses in the second half as well, coming in. He did get his head on.
Yeah.
But he was a handful. They didn't enjoy defending against him in the second half. Yeah. I think they preferred defending against Bowen in the first half compared to Antonio in the second. So
there's another shout from Paul Chambers. Think Fornals could play next to Souček.
I just don't think he's in good form, and I like him. I really do, but
yeah,
maybe he's one that now needs a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Wake, hope Dinosaur Moyes doesn't start Noble to replace Rice. Keep the faith, Hammerette. Dabs, Antonio was built like a brick but falls down too often. Vinay, I agree, Antonio should be captain of record to declare. I've never slagged off Antonio. Drop Fornals against Watford. Right, get your predictions in. What do you think the score predictions will be for tomorrow's game? Now, Matt, will you be around for the Matchday Live tomorrow?
What time's kickoff?
3 o'clock kickoff.
Yes.
Brilliant. Excellent. So we should have a full full show tomorrow. If you are new around here, please go and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers. Hit the thumbs up. It does push our videos into the algorithm. That really does help us out as well. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, you can click the link. Join membership program is on there as well, so you can have a look at that. Go and click the subscribe button. And of course, when the video has finished, leave a comment as well. So, Matt, for the game tomorrow, on the back of getting 5 points in the last 7 games, what do you think the result will be against Watford?
2-1.
2-1 West Ham.
Yeah.
I'll take that, mate. I will take that right now. I will take that off your hands.
Scrappy game. Yeah. 3 really scrappy goals.
Yep.
Probably red card in there somewhere for a team as well.
Yeah. I'm going to agree. I don't. What do I actually honestly think? 3-2 West Ham.
You know what? I nearly went for that score as well, and I was like,
I'm going to go 3-2 West Ham. Mark Alexander saying a Desmond. Vinay saying 4-0 West Ham. Frank Butcher saying 4-2 West Ham. Antonio was too tired to take the captain's armband. I reckon Dawson should be captain and score against the team that threw him out. Paul Evans, Antonio might have a taste for goals again. A 1-0 win for us. I'll take that right now. If it cast time, 1-0 if Iriola starts, 1-3 if Fabianski starts. Oh, come on. Vlasic swap for Lingard. Frank Butcher will concede because our defence has got more holes in that than Mio Trakis. Dabs 3-2 West Ham, 1-0 from WHU 58. Richard Stevens 1-all, but 2-1 if Mass plays. Gary J saying 2-1 us. Big Dawson with 1. Eddie Duffy 1-0 Watford. Jonas saying 3-0 to West Ham. I'm feeling confident. Frank Butcher 6-goal filler for me, maybe 7. Happy Hammerette, I can't see many goals, just a tough 1-0 win for us, both with Bowen scoring. Ashley Kemp saying Lingard wasn't even in the squad tonight against Manchester United. Alex Chapman 2-0 Watford. Oh God, come on, Alex. Our defence opens up more than keepers. That's the comment. English Yardie 2-1 West Ham, 2-1 lost. Hate saying it, defensively we are poor. 3-0 for West Ham from Paul Evans. David Trullick 2-0. Warren Hardcastle 2-1 West Ham. It will click tomorrow. Paul, any which we got to get 3 points. Watford are 4th bottom, 3-1 to us. Long Dark Tunnel, good evening. Listen, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you've had a great Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you, Matt, as well. And I hope you're all getting ready for 2022. Can't believe we're saying 2022. And hopefully West Ham can go and see off the final 2 games we've got of 2021 with 6 points. How nice would that be? Signing off the season, signing off the calendar year on a high. That would be nice. Matt, one player you fear the most from Watford?
Dennis.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yep. Who's the one player they should fear tomorrow?
Hopefully he's going to get some form again now that he scores. I'm going to go Antonio.
Antonio!
He always scores. He scores in bursts. So we might see about 6 games in a row now, or 7 games where he has impact on goals.
Yeah.
Then he might go quiet again. So hopefully Antonio.
Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, thank you for joining us. He's been Matt. I've been Anton. Come to join us tomorrow for the Match Day Live. Subscribe, like, and comment. Join the membership program. Do whatever you need to do. And we'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Irons.